Gentlemen, brothers, my friends, even some of the women watching, our civilization is coming to an end. It's closing. It's going away. And it's not feminists who are doing it. It's not even social justice warriors. It's women. Yeah! Hey everybody, John the Other here. Now, I've talked a couple of times in the past about vigilante violence and vigilante justice, a lot of it coming from feminists. Well, there's more coming. I wrote an article on community organized compassion and kindness, I'll put a link to that in the low bar, about a Toronto writer who writes for a site called nowtoronto.com, I think, and Antonia Zerbaisius, I think is her name. And she proposes that feminists or women band together in secret and publish the names of people that they have personal vendettas against and accuse them of crimes and publish where they live and their employers and so on, and then post these up into semi-public places like women's washrooms. This is very, very clearly a call for vigilante justice by secret committee and criminal conspiracy to engage in vigilante justice, but by women against men. And it's not a new element. This urge to vigilante justice or vigilante vendetta is relatively commonplace coming from feminists. We remember that on the 6th of October, which is rapidly approaching, Stephanie Guthrie is going to have a judgment, or Gregory Allen Elliott is going to have a judgment in the case of the Twitter harassment of Stephanie Guthrie, who was engaged in a criminal conspiracy to engage in, vigilante violence against the volunteer who was going to do art for her and some other kid who was a game developer. And I think it's time for us to realize that this is not actually a women versus men issue. It's not a... I just said it's not women versus men. I think that's partly wrong. It's not women versus men. I think this is women versus morality. Women versus an ethical compass. Because in Zerbaisius' article at Now Toronto, she acknowledges quite clearly in the article that what she's proposing, which is a criminal conspiracy and vigilante violence, is going to create revulsion and rejection in a great many of her readers. This is the attempt at normalization of something already recognized by the author as grossly immoral, grossly unethical. And so we're looking at, a fundamental degradation of the quality of our culture and our society, whether this is acceptable, whether this is normal. And women are the fucking gatekeepers of morality in our culture. They're the maintainers of what's normal. Are we going to have women as a whole go, okay, this is good, yep, okay, it's for us, so yep, good. It's not, we're not at the end of the pointy end of the stick here, so yeah, it's all okay. I just love that it's out in public. I love that we can see this conversation happening out in the public view. A stronger motivation to MGTOW I cannot imagine. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'm John the Other. So this is the end notes part of the video, and I'm going to revisit a topic I covered a couple of weeks ago on the 16th of September. And that was the kid in Texas who supposedly brought a homemade electronics project, a clock, to school, and then got thrown in handcuffs and booted out of school, and this whole media hoopla sprung up around him. I stand with Ahmad, or Muhammad, or whatever his name is. Of course, the story has subsequently come out that he did no such thing. He did not make a home electronics project. He didn't put it together from a kit. What he did is he got a clock radio, probably from somewhere like Radio Shack, took it out of its manufactured case, stuck it in the most suspicious looking box that he could possibly find, escalated the level of suspicion by wrapping a cable around it, and essentially with malice and purpose made a fake bomb, made it look like a fake bomb on purpose, and then played the victim card, and the media fell for it, and so did I. Okay? Now, I did a video, and I as soon as I saw Obama and Hillary and a bunch of other people tweeting their support, I knew there was something hinky
but I didn't know what. And it wasn't until later that I found out all the other details. But my rejection of being racist against Islam is what made me susceptible to this goddamn hoax, and I got suckered. I went to school in Vancouver with a bunch of guys at BCIT, a lot of whom were Muslims, and so I'm naturally against these photos you see of a pickup truck with a sticker on the back that says the only Muslim that's good is a dead one, and that pisses me off. And yet, thinking that I'm skeptical and rational, I got completely suckered. And if it hadn't been for Obama and Hillary and everybody else, all these high-profile hucksters jumping on board with their support, I would not have been suspicious at all. I would have believed that this was just a kid being beat on because he was Muslim, instead of being a scammer and bringing a fake bomb. That's how I got suckered. And anyway, thanks very much for listening, and have a lovely day.